What's up, you guys? It's your boy Kryptonian saying here, bringing you another review for One Piece. As you can tell, scenery is a little different. I'm actually filming in my kitchen, so you guys can, see the living room a little bit. But getting right into it, man. Chapter 36 was pretty impressive, man. Chapter picks up exactly where the last one left off. Usopp's pirate crew, Onion and Carrot and Pepper, I believe that's their names. They're basically taking Kaya and they're running through the woods, and they're telling Kaya, hey, as long as we move through the woods, we can get you back home safe, because nobody knows the woods as great as us. And then that's when Jango decides to do a little housekeeping. Those discs that he's got, they're chopping through the trees and they're toppling the trees, right? He's getting his lumberjack on. I can't remember the name of the guy from the myth. Like, he's like the big lumberjack guy that chop down all the trees and stuff. But he's doing that right there, and that's pretty impressive that he's got that much destructive force that he can take out all those trees on his own like that, just throwing them. Because every time those discs hits the tree branch, or not the branch, the trunk, it's got to go through it, so the momentum should be slowing down. So that says a lot about how hard he's throwing those discs. But the chapter shifts over and we see Usopp and Luffy and Kuro, and basically Kuro is taunting Usopp because Usopp has fallen down. He's got his butt in there and he's saying, I have to get to those kids because they're part of my crew. And basically he ends up saying at one point, how could you hunt down Kaya like this? You lived with her for 3 years. Don't you feel anything? And then that's how we see just how cold-hearted Captain Kuro is, because Kuro says, I don't feel anything for her. I'll feel for her once she's dead and she signed over her will to me. Not her will, but she signed over her estate to me. And we get a little back and forth with with Zoro and Luffy, because Zoro says, you unredeemable swine. And then that's when Luffy says, who said anybody wanted to redeem him? Nice. Like, it's a little bit of comedy right there, but like the looks on their faces, like that said a lot, man. You can tell that just in the short time that Usopp has been with these guys, that he's really started to rub off, man. Like that look on Luffy's face, you can tell Luffy means business. Like, he's definitely going to be a part of his crew. You can see it. But we get this really cool shot, like it's a sequence of events where Usopp's trying to run away and Zoro takes his sword and he puts it to Buchi's throat, right? And just the way that ends, he's got two swords basically lined up to take his head off if he tries to do anything else. And Zoro's saying, you've been a very bad kitty. Now stay down and shut up and I may let you live. Really nice. Those are some really big words right there. But the other thing about this is, it's like, just to see Usopp's dedication and resolve to be on the ground bleeding out like that, like he is a very noble man. Like, I know that Usopp gets a lot of flack for the lies that he tells and everything, but you gotta respect that. You absolutely have to respect him for that. But the thing about that is this: basically Usopp can't go on anymore. His spirit is there, but his body is breaking down, and it reminds me of what's going on with Kobe Bryant right now. Like, I'm a huge Los Angeles Lakers fan, right? And you can tell that Kobe's mind is a few steps ahead of the guys that he's playing against, but his body isn't keeping up with his competitive spirit and with his mind. His body's a few steps slower than his mind, and his competitive spirit is miles ahead of what his body can do at this point. And that's where Usopp is at right now. But what you have to respect about Usopp is he's trying to see it through to the end. And once again, I see parallels between him and Kaya, because the thing about it is we see Kaya and she's struggling to continue on, just like Usopp. Like, look at that, man. Like, she is huffing and panting. You can tell that her face is flushed, and the chapter ends off like that, where we see Kaya basically cornered by Jango. But I thought that those parallels were nice, because there are two really good shots of both of them where you can tell that they're breaking down, like in the very beginning of you guys, my battery died on me. Now, like I was saying, the other thing about this chapter that I found really interesting was how quickly Luffy was able to kind of take the Usopp, because we get this really impressive shot where where Luffy is basically giving Usopp room to get the hell out of there, man. Like Zoro tells him, I'm gonna take him and run, so you just buy us time. And that's exactly what Luffy does. Like he throws that punch and it keeps Kuro from striking them down. And just as he's getting ready to try and go for another one, Luffy throws yet another gum punch at him. Really, really nice to see that. Like Luffy is going at it all the way through, and you can tell he has it in his mind he's gonna recruit Usopp, because he says there's somebody in this village I won't let you kill. Chances are he's talking about Kaya, but I think that he might be referring to both of them. But Usopp is clearly the one that he's going to end up recruiting, not Kaya. Maybe Kaya will finance things, I doubt that, but Usopp's the guy that he's going to recruit. That much is obvious. But Luffy is the king of unorthodox fighting. I thought Natsu breakdancing with some fire flames in the other fairy tale chapter was nice, but Luffy goes from showing Kuro his feet, right? And you're looking like, what the hell is he gonna do? Like, he's got his sandals. Well, he's using the gum spear, and he's basically treating his sandals and his feet as a way to impale this guy. So I'm wondering how sharp are Luffy's feet. Like, you can tell he cuts them shits, but like, that's unorthodox as hell right there. Like, I don't know how the hell Luffy thinks of this stuff. Like, he's either a fighting genius or he is a freaking idiot. I don't know how he thinks of this stuff. But that's really it for this chapter, man. There was a little time between the 2 times I recorded. I had to wait for my battery to charge up a little bit, so I'll have to edit a few things in. But that's it for this chapter, though. My chapter question for you guys is, what did you think about Kaya and that parallel I drew between her and Usopp, right? I don't think that that's done by mistake, to see the 2 new characters that have been introduced, both of them kind of struggling to kind of make it through. I think this is very beautifully written, and just like I said, those parallels are very strong. I admire Kaya more than Usopp at this point, because of how you know that she's struggling just to make it up that slope, and she's still pushing through. And at one point she even tells the kids, like, get out of here. Very noble, because she knows that those kids stay with her, they're likely to be killed. Granted, Zoro and Usopp are probably going to come in and save the day, but very noble, man. But that's it for this review. If you liked anything I had to say, make sure you comment, rate, subscribe, and share. I greatly appreciate it, guys. That's it. Thanks for watching, Krypton.